I'm Cody Hale with SealMaster, and today I'm here to talk to you about the Crack Pro heated hose crack sealing units. Behind me is the Crack Pro 125 DA model. The DA designates that this unit does have a compressor on board. The main differences between our machines are the material capacity in the kettles themselves. Most of the other operational functionality and safety features across the entire line of Crack Pro units are all the same. We do offer a 125, 260, and 400 gallon capacity unit. The compressor models are available on the single hose 125 and 260 units. On the 260 and 400 gallon units, we do have an optional double pumping system. With the double pumping system, the compressor is not an option. Now let's discuss some of the key features to the Crack Pro heated hose machines. Included on every Crack Pro heated hose machine is an adjustable pintle hitch, 7-pin trailer plug for all of your lights and brakes, safety chains, and an emergency brake hookup that if the trailer breaks away, this will activate the emergency brakes and stop the unit. The battery box for the emergency brakes is located right behind it. Make sure that you test the breakaway box to make sure the battery is fully charged by depressing the button, and if a green LED indicator lights up, it's good to go. Moving toward the rear of the machine, first we have our air compressor hose reel with a 100-foot standard length of hose. It's one of the largest in the industry. Attached to that, we have our aluminum compressor wand with the special shoe at the bottom that helps guide the wand at the proper height over blowing out the cracks. Past that, we have a battery box that runs the engine and electronics of the machine, a diesel engine coupled to a direct drive air compressor that puts out volume of 70 CFM at 100 PSI. Behind the compressor unit is our operations panel for the engine itself with your key and indicator lights. You have the air compressor on and off valve with an emergency shutoff valve right off of the compressor itself. Behind that is our 30-gallon hydraulic oil and diesel fuel tanks. One thing to note is on every unit we have our manual included, and it's mounted to the right side fender on this unit. On each Crack Pro unit we have a guide sticker on the side of the kettle to indicate where you should maintain your proper material level to operate efficiently. Above that we have our heat transfer oil expansion tank with the T-handle dipstick on the top of it to check your heat transfer oil levels. The loading door on the SealMaster Crack Pro units does have a proper loading height with reinforcement so that you can put your material on and close the door to properly load the material. And on the left side we have a safety switch that will deactivate the agitator when you open the door to prevent any splashback. On all Crack Pro heated hose units we have our Crack Pro WeatherTight control box. Inside the lid we have a sticker that tells you how to operate the machine, and we also have a QR code that links to the manual for this specific model. 3 digital indicators read out your hose temperature, material temperature, and heated transfer oil temperature. Below that we have the AC power switch which runs your heated hose, and also an indicator telling you how much electric is currently heating the hose. Next to that we have the pump and agitator switches. On the bottom row you have your main power switch, burner enable switch which lets you know that the burner is fired, burner fail switch if the burner is not firing, high temperature reset switch, and an interlock light that lets you know the machine will allow itself to agitate and pump once everything's up to temperature. Behind the control box we have analog gauges as a backup just in case you have a digital failure. On all Crack Pro heated hose units we have externally mounted pumps for ease of access and maintenance in case of a pump failure. On the back of the heated pump enclosure we have a molasses valve that is good for draining your tank out if the material's been heated too long, or putting an MA10 under if you need another crack sealing unit in operation. Off to the side we have our pump drive motor run hydraulically from our hydraulic manifold. These are adjustable with the pump speed control and the agitator speed control knobs on the hydraulic manifold. All Crack Pro heated hose units are designed around ease of use on the operator and efficiency. We have an aluminum pump material wand that's lightweight, and it also goes hand in hand with our counterbalance boom system that keeps the hose off of the ground and the weight off of the operator. In each of our handles we have standard horn operation switches for safety, and then the material pump switch is activated underneath. We have an adjustable handle on the pump material wand itself, and one thing that's important to remember is you don't want to move your hose while it's not heated up. You can damage the elements inside. On all Crack Pro heated hose units we have the Beckett burner located on the left side of the machine. This 372,000 BTU burner is located on the left side of the machine for ease of access in case of a breakdown on the job site. All of the Crack Pro heated hose units are fueled by Kubota diesel engines. Now that we've reviewed all the key features on the Crack Pro heated hose machines, Let's learn how to operate it. Before operating your machine, make sure that you have your proper personal protective equipment on hand. Long pants, a long sleeve shirt, proper work shoes, work gloves, safety glasses for eye protection, and a safety vest if you're working on a road, and sometimes required is a hard hat just for an extra safety precaution. A couple things to check before starting operation for the day. Pull the dipstick on your diesel engine to make sure that the oil is at the proper level. Another thing to do is to check the belt tightness on your AC generator so that your heated hose has enough voltage to heat it up. After checking your oil level and your AC generator belt tightness, don't forget before you pull out for the day to check your lug nuts on the torsion style axles. Before starting your engine, take a quick glance at the hydraulic sight gauge and the diesel sight tube to make sure you have the proper fluid levels before starting the engine. At this point, you can turn the key to the run position, wait for the glow plug light to disappear, and then you can start it. After you've started your engine, move over and throttle the engine up so that your air compressor has full capacity, and then turn the air compressor to the on position. After starting your engine on the front of the machine, throttling the engine up to make sure we have full RPM capacity to run the compressor, come to the rear and open the control box, turn your main power switch on, your AC power switch, which will begin to heat the heated hose on the unit. Turn your pump into forward and the agitator into forward as well. Once all of the interlocks engage, once you're up to the proper temperature, the agitator will begin to try and spin. And at this point, you can go over and squeeze the trigger to see if material is up to temperature to pump through your wand. Once your interlock light has come on in the control box and you see that on your digital or analog readouts that the material is up to temperature and the heated hose is up to temperature, come to the rear of the machine and squeeze the trigger on the material wand. Hold this in for approximately 1 to 2 minutes to pull hot material all the way through your line and is flowing smoothly before you start operation. At this point, disconnect your counterbalance boom. And at this point, you can remove your wand to begin operation. At the end of the day, after you're done crack sealing, put your hose back into the stored position for transport. Come over to your control panel and place the pump into the reverse position for 1 to 2 minutes to suck all of the crack sealant back through the hose line. At this point, you can turn all the switches to the off position and the AC power off and your main power switch off. After you've shut your control panel down, move forward and shut down the engine. Make sure that you shut your air compressor off first. Now that we've gone over the key features and operational tips, we're going to show you how to properly operate, clean, and seal some cracks in the field. Begin with waiting for your glow plug light to disappear and start the engine. At this point, move over and throttle up the engine to make sure that your air compressor has enough RPMs to run. Move the lever on your air supply line to the on position and turn on your air compressor. Move back to the Crack Pro control box to turn your main power on and begin heating material. Once your material is heated, you can remove the lightweight aluminum air compressor wand and unwind the standard 100-foot length of air compressor hose. At this point, activate your aluminum wand with the ball valve located at the top of the wand. This procedure is extremely important when crack sealing to clean any dirt and debris and moisture out of the cracks before you seal. When your material and hose is up to temperature, begin by unhooking the counterbalance boom, opening the recirculation door, and unhooking the hose from the mounting location. At this point, you can remove the aluminum handled wand from the recirculation point, uncoil your hose, and you can begin crack sealing. When beginning crack sealing, try to keep the shoe of the crack sealing wand as flat as possible while watching your material fill the cracks. That way you can activate the trigger and have the proper amount of material coming out. Another important tip is to consistently feed your machine with material as you're crack sealing throughout the day. When you're done for the day, Begin by putting your hose back in the recirculation port. It's important to note not to kink your hose. Close the recirculation door, lock down your counterbalance boom, and strap the hose back into place for transport. After you've placed your material wand back in the recirculation port, begin by shutting off your agitator, reversing the pump for approximately 1 to 2 minutes to suck back the hot material in the line into the kettle. After you've done that, shut your pump off, turn the AC power off to your heated hose, and turn off the main power switch. After shutting your control panel down, move to the front of the machine. Make sure that your compressor line is wound back up properly and store the aluminum compressor wand back in its holding position. At this point, shut the compressor off, throttle the engine down, make sure there's no air left in your compressor, and you can shut the engine off. If high production is your goal, one of the most unique features on the Crack Pro heated hose lineup on our 260 and 400 gallon units is the dual wand option. When adding the dual wand option to any Crack Pro unit, along with the higher production, you get independent material pumps supplying each wand sufficiently so that you don't have a lackluster amount of material coming out of either wand, along with all the standard features that come on the other Crack Pros, including the safety horn, counterbalance boom, and the aluminum lightweight wands. The dual wand units still have our Crack Pro WeatherTight box. Inside the box, some of the additional features on the dual wand units are 2 independent digital hose gauges to let you know each hose independence temperature. We have 2 separate pump switches for the dual pumps, and we also have 2 interlock lights to let you know which wand is ready to pump sealant at that time. The only thing that's not in this box is the agitation control, which is located on the side of the machine on the dual wand units. If you would like more information about any of the Crack Pro heated hose models, download the Sealmaster app, check out sealmaster.net, or reach out to your local Sealmaster representative.